When the Xbox Series X first dropped, it was hard to get. It was hard to get everywhere. Same with the PlayStation 5. A lot of that was just due to infrastructure issues. If you remember, we were just coming out of COVID, worldwide lockdown, and so things were slow to get ramped up. It's now been easier to get an Xbox Series X. It's easier to get a PlayStation 5. But with the FTC, Activision Blizzard case that is happening right now, we just learned that Microsoft has sacrificed Xbox Series X sales for long-term ambition in the cloud, which I think is interesting. It's clearly a strategic move. They're not super concerned with pushing more consoles. They are making investments in the cloud as a result. And it brings up the question, is that the right move? Cloud is something that I do think is in the future for sure. We're very close to it, but it's not something that I use on a regular basis. It's not something that's there yet. So is it a mistake for Xbox to sacrifice Xbox Series X sales right now with this long-term ambition? TLDR, I think it is. I think long-term cloud gaming is the future. Everybody's investing in it. Indeed, PlayStation is actually using Microsoft servers for their cloud gaming structure, and they're making moves in the cloud gaming space. So I do think it's worth it. I don't think it's hurt Xbox overly in the console sales department as a result. So totally worth it. Whether it's the right move or not, whether I'm right on that, whether Xbox is right on that is yet to be seen. I think we'll see in the next few years whether that is the right decision or right case, or whether or not that is the future. I think when you look at where we are when we consume our media, everything we consume now went from physical discs to streaming. I mean, especially with TV and video. For instance, Black Fridays, I used to always go and get all the Blu-ray discs, all the movies on sale and stuff. Now you go into a Best Buy, those don't even exist. If you remember, before that, it was music. If you remember music, half of Best Buy, I'm using Best Buy as inference, but all electronic stores, the majority of their aisles were music CDs. Now can you even get a CD in a store? I don't even know that you can, because the way that we consume it is through these music streaming services. Movies went that same way, and I think gaming is about to go that same way. So I do think it's smart for Xbox to push cloud gaming, to invest in cloud gaming rather. But let's take a look this is, again, Tom Warren absolutely crushing it. The Verge all over the Microsoft FTC, Xbox FTC versus Microsoft hearing here. And here's the email in question where we're learning about this. Now, some of this is redacted, but down here at the bottom, let's see if we can zoom in. It doesn't really show up on screen because of the way that this is formatted, but from a strategy perspective, this is Phil Spencer speaking. He says, I believe in our trade-offs for cloud and content in gaming over console volume. I would obviously love to invest in all unconstrained, but I completely support the trade-offs we are making. The hardware timelines, with hardware timelines, he says we can't be as agile in supply when our revenue or AM targets exceed budgets, as we are seeing in fiscal year 21, even without Halo. We are making Q2 and Q3 decisions to air freight consoles this fiscal year, which will pull some volume forward given how our P&L is tracking, but this is more of a timing fix than a volume fix. We need to plan our fiscal year 22 hardware volumes now. With our strategy and opportunity, console volume will still be the thing we constrain to grow our long-term ambition. So two things there. Two main things there. He says, I believe in our trade-offs for cloud and content in gaming over console volume. And then he ends with our strategy and opportunity, console volume will still be the thing we constrain to grow our long-term ambition. Very interesting there. The question is that going to pay off? I think the answer is yes. I really do. The Verge, Tom Warren says Microsoft has had to invest money into building out its cloud infrastructure for Xbox cloud gaming, particularly as it's based on custom console components. And that was what went into it. Indeed, I think a lot of those components from the Xbox Series X, instead of being made into consoles, were being used in their cloud gaming infrastructure on the back end. We also know that they're working on a separate and dedicated streaming only device that's been rumored. If you remember, they partnered with Samsung TVs to have an Xbox app where you could cloud stream your game to those TVs. And if you think about it long term, if your gaming comes down to an app and you're built into TVs going forward, that is huge with reaching audiences, with reaching potential subscribers to Xbox Game Pass. So just interesting, some more interesting tidbits coming out on Xbox's strategy here in the last few years with product shortages and sacrificing cloud or Series X sales and opting for cloud hardware investment. And they view this as a long-term ambition and long-term strategy. Again, I think it's the right move. I really do. I know xCloud is not quite there yet. It works decently. It's not to a point where I would recommend you not to have a console and to just play that. But I think we're a few years away from that for sure, if not sooner. I think that definitely is the future, and I think it's correct for Xbox to be making that trade-off, to be making that sacrifice. I do agree with Phil Spencer. Now, some of you might be saying, well, of course you do. You're a fanboy. And I am. But I want to know from you, do you think that is the right move? Or is that a mistake? Should they be focusing on consoles? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you agree with this. Do you think that cloud gaming is the future? Or do you think it's not? I mean, when you look, even PlayStation is banking on, Nvidia is headed in that direction. Steam is heading in that direction as well, at least making investments in that direction for sure. So very interesting. Love actually this FTC versus Microsoft case, because we're getting all of this insight into the way that Xbox and Phil Spencer and crew are thinking about the future of Xbox. And what it's done for me, honestly, has just been to solidify my confidence in Xbox, in the decisions and path that they're taking at this moment. I think it's very forward thinking. I think they're really leading. And I think they were forced into it for being in third place. I mean, we know that Phil Spencer said on the stand, hey, we're in third place. We can't operate this way anymore. So this is what we're doing now. I think that's forced them to really adjust, and they're leading the pack, in my opinion, in innovation in gaming at the moment. And I think it's great. Anyways, I'd love to hear what you have to say on this topic, on this matter. Again, comment below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We do daily Xbox news and videos. So if you like this video, if you want to see more like this, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.